What's up, watch nerds? In this video, I just want to talk about probably the nerdiest watch in the whole of watch collecting, and that is the Omega Speedmaster Professional. Right now, the Omega Speedmaster is an amazing watch. Right, I really loved it, but that's because I was a bit of a nerd myself. This watch is for someone who's getting into the hobby and also kind of appreciates the advancements that mankind has made. They made it up to the moon with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Right, these watches are legends. Would I recommend the Omega Speedmaster? Hell yeah, but man, they are freaking expensive these days. So I'm right now in Chrono 24. And make sure if you're looking for a Speedmaster, don't cheap out, right? Do not get the reduced, right? The reduced is dog shit, right? It is a piece of shit, right? So don't get this, right? Make sure you go for the Speedy Professional. And just an honest, humble piece like this one, right? Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch 3952.50. And wow, this one is pretty good, guys. Look at this, from Japan. And hey, I think Japan is a great place to buy your watches from. They're relatively honest dealers. This one has the exhibition case back, and I believe this is an acrylic crystal. Right, you can kind of tell from how the light gets a little bit warped. It doesn't look the same as from a sapphire crystal, right? And this is a great watch. If you guys are thinking of buying a Speedmaster, I'd say this one from Chrono 24. It's definitely worth your consideration, right? So, Speedy Pro. Let's do a wristwatch check. I have on my Rolex Daytona 116520. This is really the reason why I don't have a Speedmaster in my collection, because I just want to wear the Rolex. If I had the Speedmaster, I probably would not wear this as much, and that's a testament to how great the Speedmaster is. This Rolex Daytona, I mean, it just fits better on my wrist, right? The one thing with the Speedmaster is that it's just a little bit too big. At 42 millimeters with the twisted lugs, the bracelet also tends to hang out. It's just a bit too big for my wrists, right? My wrists are 6¼ inches. And so it's just a little bit too big, right? For me, if I were to be buying a modern Speedmaster, the one I really like is the Speedmaster Foix. Speedmaster Foix. First Omega in space. Excuse my French, but I really like this one, right? The only thing is that it has a sapphire crystal up front. So I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they put a sapphire crystal as opposed to the standard acrylic crystal. But it's beautiful. It really is. Yeah, this is a lot more wearable. I guess it's a little dressier, which is fine for a chronograph. I wouldn't take the Speedmaster swimming, but I would take the Daytona swimming, no problem, right? Because it's got screw down pushers, along with a screw down crown. Everything is screwed down, and so in that sense, I'd say the Daytona is a little bit more practical. I mean, but who really uses a chronograph? I use a chronograph sometimes, but if you're someone who actually uses a chronograph on a regular basis, I'd say the Speedmaster is probably a better option, simply because it's just easier to operate the chrono pushes. You just push, it's just basically a stopwatch. You just push it. You don't have to screw down the crowns like you do with the Daytona. So the first Omega in space is is a fantastic. Excuse me. The first Omega in space is a fantastic modern Speedmaster. However, the only thing is, you don't really have a bracelet. So if you're someone who's looking for a bracelet, maybe this is not the watch for you. But in terms of overall look, aesthetic, and wearability, the first Omega in space, is a fantastic option. But if it's your first Omega, if it's your first luxury watch, right? Money is probably a bit of an issue. You don't want to spend too much. I'd say, just a regular Speedy Pro, 42 millimeter, big modern size. Everybody knows what it is. Super iconic. It's a great watch. I love Speedmasters. I love a manual wind watch too. That's something that's really missing in my collection. So something like, just a regular Speedy Pro for 4,600 Canadian pesos. It's really amazing. This guy, and you could even make an offer, right? He's willing to take less than 4,500 Canadian. Probably maybe just a couple $100 less, not much, but I'd say this is a fantastic watch to purchase, right? My Speedmaster journey has been quite an extensive one. I must have owned at least 10 Speedmasters. And ultimately, my favorite Speedmaster of all time has to be the Omega Speedmaster at White. It's a vintage Speedmaster, something like this one. Circa 67. That's a bit odd. Because I think the at Whites, they only ran up to 1965 or something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know. But, these were in my humble opinion, the best Speedmasters in terms of proportion, size, and just, a clean dial, right? Sometimes the Speedy Professional can be a little bit fussy, right? But this is just an honest Omega Speedmaster before pre-moon, before they took it up to the moon. Yeah, these are amazing watches. Expensive though. But I think, if you're looking for a vintage watch, do consider the Omega Speedmaster with the caliber 321 movement with straight lugs. I think that's the way to go. I'm not a fan of the twisted lugs. The case shape is just a little bit too much for me. But the straight lug case on the Speedmasters, to me, that's the way to go. All right. Understated, true legend. Yeah, I really do miss this vintage Speedmaster. But, like with every vintage watch, you got to be careful with it. You don't want to be caught in the rain with it. You just got to be a little bit more careful with moisture damage. In terms of durability, the 321 movement is a workhorse, right? Quite serviceable. Parts are readily available, so I'm not too worried about the function and the durability of the movement itself. It's more so the dial, the dial, the loom on the hands, on the chrono hands, and the hour and minute hands. Those could easily flake off, and when those do flake off from moisture damage, it loses its value, right? So these are great watches, right? They got a modern version of the Ed Whites, but they are so expensive, man. 34 grand for for new version of the Ed White. That's just ridiculous. I mean, you can just buy the original one, right? Here, this is a new Ed White with a caliber 321. Just buy the original, the real the real deal. You know, the real deal. The thing with Omega Speedmaster, I don't get the Snoopy, right? Omega. No, I don't know why collectors go nuts for the Snoopy. I think it's just silly. Like, seriously, you know, you a dog lover? Are you a dog lover? Do you love dogs so much that you gotta have it on your watch? I mean, okay, you know, if you really like Snoopy or whatever, then go for it. But shit, come on, guys, come on, don't pay more than, I don't know, 10 grand for the Snoopy. There, I said it right. Like, shit, at that price point, get the Ed White. You know, get the vintage Speedmaster. Don't be lollipop suckers and window lickers and buy a Snoopy Speedmaster when you can get a freaking the real deal, the bee's knees, right? Vintage caliber 321 Speedmasters. Why would you pay 20 grand for a Snoopy Speedmaster? Like, seriously, I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Why do you want a cartoon character on your watch? Sure, okay, I don't know. I know those astronauts. I think the affiliation with Snoopy, I don't know. A lot of NASA astronauts like Snoopy and stuff like that, but as a watch collector, I mean, Snoopy was a little bit before my time, right? So I think if you're, I don't know, I'm 30, I'm 38, you probably got to be about 50 years old to kind of appreciate Snoopy, but to actually watch it as a cartoon, I think. With Charlie Brown and whatever, I don't know. So I was never big on Snoopy, so I don't give a shit about Snoopy. Maybe if you're a Snoop Dogg, you know, if you're Snoop Dogg, you know, you're a fan of Snoop Dogg, you could buy this watch. You drop it like it's hot, you know, on your wrist. Drop it like it's hot on your wrist, and maybe the Snoopy's for you. But if I had like 20 grand to blow on a Speedmaster, screw the Snoopy, man. Screw the Snoopy. To me, it's dog shit. Get the real deal. Omega Speedmaster 321, right? Ooh. What's all this nonsense right here? Omega Seamaster. Omega Speedmaster. Vintage 321. All right, that's the one to get. Whoa, what's this guy? 9 grand? That's all right, you know, look at that. Extra from the archives. Speaking of extra of the archives, you know, I remember one of the first Speedmaster 321s that I ever bought on eBay had an orange chrono hand. And at the time, I didn't think much of it. I was like, whatever, you know, chrono hand. Lo and behold, that was what the Ultraman was based out of. Oh, kind of like this one. I owned it and I sold it. And I think these are going for crazy money right now. So I could be kicking myself in the ass right now. But who knows, right? People could have just replaced the orange hand. Sorry, replaced the regular chrono hand with an orange hand and then sell it as such, but it was the exact same reference, 145.012-67. So I guess these are super collectible right now. But I don't know. I wouldn't pay that much more just because it has an orange chrono hand. Right? But if you got 20 grand to blow on a Speedmaster, don't buy a fucking Snoopy. Get a proper pre-moon vintage Speedmaster. I think that's the watch to get. If you're really into Speedmasters, you know, you're some freaking space freak. You're a space freak. You're into NASA. You're into astrology and all that crap. You're a bit of a nerd. You're a bit of like a science geek, right? You like Neil deGrasse and all this freaking Cosmo bullshit. Then the Speedmaster is the watch for you, right? I would have it in my collection, but you know, I don't have it just because I prefer the Rolex Daytona for waterproofing purposes, yeah? So this watch is just not very practical for me. In my climate, where I live in the Pacific Northwest, it's, you know, it's just raining all the time, and yes, so it's just not for me. But if you live in a desert, you know, in Arizona, Nevada, I think this is a great watch for you, right? Sunny California. The Omega Speedmaster is fantastic. But, you know, I don't wear it just because I have the Rolex Daytona, right? The fact that I'm comparing the Daytona to the Speedmaster is a testament to how great that watch really is. Yeah. And, you know, we saw on Chrono 24, you could find one for 4,500 Canadian. I think Daytona, these would probably go for, I want to say like 25. So is the is the Daytona 5 times better than the Speedmaster? Hard to say, right? But, yeah, so something to consider, guys, the Omega Speedmaster. All right, thanks for watching.